Thank you for joining us on this update on the legal situation in Russia. Our report will discuss the latest developments after an important court decision on January 16th. For some time, the Russian government has claimed that Jehovah's Witnesses are extremists. Last year, the Prosecutor General issued a warning for extremist activity against the Administrative Center of Jehovah's Witnesses in Russia, which is our branch office. We appealed that warning, as we have not been engaged in any extremist activity. But on January 16th of this year, the Moscow City Court dismissed that appeal. The three-judge panel rejected all arguments filed by our attorneys and rendered its decision after a 10-minute recess. Now, we don't know what the implications of the decision will be, but we do know that in the past, when warnings have been issued in Russia against some of our local entities, our property has later been seized. Despite the outcome, the January 16th court hearing provided a great witness. Our representatives were given the opportunity to present evidence showing that certain Russian officials have been running a campaign of painting us as an extremist organization. Additionally, our brothers highlighted the peace that exists among Jehovah's Witnesses. We now have Brother Sergei Cherepanov with us, live from the Administrative Center in Russia. Now, Sergei, what does this recent court decision really mean?
What the government chooses to do now, we don't know. But what we do know is that our brothers will continue worshiping Jehovah. They will go to the meetings, they will go to the field ministry, and keep up with their spiritual routine. Whatever future may bring, we know that worshiping Jehovah will continue in Russia. And of course, we have done everything possible, and we will continue doing so. That is to legally defend our right to worship Jehovah freely in Russia. But we have to understand that we cannot expect perfect justice in this world of injustice.
Well, considering the groundless accusations that are being made against Jehovah's people in Russia, how did the brothers and sisters react? Are they bitter?
No, not at all. Well, our brothers continue to be in subjection to the authorities. We respect the authorities, and we understand that not all of them are against us. But just like Paul admonished in his first letter to Timothy, chapter 2, verses 1 and 2, we pray for them so that they will understand the nature of our work, and we would be able to continue our calm and quiet life with the complete godly devotion.
That's a wonderful attitude to have. What is the message that the brothers and sisters in Russia would like to convey to our worldwide brotherhood?
Well, brothers, you don't need to be overly worried about us, but please keep us in your prayers.
We certainly will, Sergei. And please convey our love to all the brothers and sisters there in Russia.
We will. Thank you very much.
Although the legal case is currently focused on the Administrative Center in Russia, how did we get to where we are today? To understand the background, we need to go back to 2015, when a city court ruled on allegations against Jehovah's Witnesses in the city of Taganrog, Russia.
On November 30th, 2015, the Taganrog City Court convicted 16 Jehovah's Witnesses. And in March of the next year, the Rostov Regional Court confirmed this decision.
I was hoping that the arguments by the defense and statements of the accused would be heard by the judicial chamber, and we would be excused. But neither were heard at that time.
So on what are the charges of extremism based? The first step taken by the authorities was to get several publications of Jehovah's Witnesses added to the federal list of extremist materials.
It means that importing these publications into the country, storing them in their places of worship, and distributing them was prohibited. The basic reasons to ban these publications were based on statements which alleged that they incite religious discord by pointing out the superiority of Jehovah's Witnesses over all other religions.
Following that logic, the courts have pronounced extremist over 80 publications of Jehovah's Witnesses and their official website. Not surprisingly, many specialists in the field of human rights consider the court decisions erroneous.
If I say that my faith is the right one, it is the only true religion, what would that mean? Is it advocating exclusivity, or inferiority, or supremacy? No, of course not.
Jehovah's Witnesses stopped using these publications and removed them from their places of worship. Despite this, the authorities moved on to the second stage of their persecution.
For several years, law enforcement officers have repeatedly used the following scenario. A third party plants banned literature at the place of worship of Jehovah's Witnesses. A few minutes later, police officers and prosecutors show up to inspect and search the building, and as if by chance, find planted publications. And all this is done just to accuse believers of extremism and to ban their activity.
As a result of such literature plantings, the authorities have succeeded in liquidating 7 local entities of Jehovah's Witnesses in different cities of Russia. This was the third step of the persecution.
It is important to understand that a local religious organization of Jehovah's Witnesses, or LRO, is not the same thing as a congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. An LRO includes 10 to 15 believers and has certain rights, such as to own and maintain a religious building. The actual activities relating to their worship is carried out by the believers, independently of the LRO.
And at last the authorities moved on to their main goal. With reference to the fact that local entities had been banned, the prosecutor's office now expressed its readiness to ban the headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses in Russia. Prior to this, the prosecutor's office had already initiated several inspections. Then, in 2013, a team of approximately 60 officials turned up at the administrative center to inspect it. However, despite all their efforts, nothing unlawful was found. Such events remind many human rights advocates of the days of religious repression in the past.
I've known about Jehovah's Witnesses for many years. During Soviet times, they were persecuted for their faith and received long sentences in prison camps. They would go to prison for their faith. Such sincere feelings call for respect. Heartfelt faith excludes extremism.
Although Jehovah's Witnesses in Russia are going through certain difficulties, today our brothers and sisters continue to serve Jehovah with great joy and zeal. We are also receiving words of support from our brothers and sisters all around the world.
During this difficult time of persecution, I have received a lot of help from our brothers and sisters. Recently, one brother from New Zealand wrote that his 6-year-old son is praying for me every night. It was a great encouragement.
And of course, we remember one family who sent us greetings from France. 9 people, 7 of them were children. That's something.
My relationship with Jehovah is only getting stronger through all of this. During any trial, I try to get to know him better, understand him, and it strengthens our relationship. Brothers, endure difficulties, stand firm in the faith, and blessings from Jehovah will come.
Our brothers in Russia have gone through a lot in the past few years. King Hezekiah experienced something similar, as you may remember from last year's regional convention drama. Jehovah said in Isaiah chapter 30, verse 15, "Your strength will be in keeping calm and showing trust." Now Hezekiah trusted in Jehovah, and Jehovah proved to be with him. But how can we remain calm when negative things take place around us? Well, first, we trust that Jehovah will care for us no matter what happens. We know that He's pleased by our faith and courage. Second, we know that all we're asking for is to be able to worship Jehovah in love and peace. Our neutral, peace-loving stand is known around the world. And third, our worldwide brotherhood stands with us. Brothers and sisters in Russia, your trust in Jehovah is a great example for all of us to imitate. Please know that we are praying in your behalf because we love you very much. There's no doubt that Jehovah is on your side and he will continue to guide and protect you. This is JW Broadcasting from the World Headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses.